This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Well, at Capitol Hill grilling, President Trump's nominee for Health and Human Services Secretary on the receiving end of some tough questions from the Senate. And breaking news on the controversial move to freeze federal grants. We have the details on the president's pivot. Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kendall Green. Welcome to the News Block. We have several breaking news and developing stories to get to. But first, let's take a live look outside right now. It looks really good, but that wind is doing some damage out there. Let's bring in meteorologist Nick Gregory for a first look at the forecast. Hey, good evening, Nick.
Hi there, Kendall. Yes, definitely some wind conditions out there, but look at these temperatures in the 50s from the city on south and west. Again, about 50 to the Hamptons, 40s as you get across the Ohio or the Hudson Valley and parts of Connecticut. We're 12 to 15 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but the wind a problem out of the west, 15, 25, gusting to 45 in places. So that's taking a little edge off that 50-degree temps. And we do have a wind advisory covering the entire area until later on tonight. Also, a winter weather advisory up there in Sullivan County. Why? Snow squalls are coming down. Some of those snow squalls may quickly whiten the ground in spots, and we'll see that potential into the early part of the evening. They'll just be rain showers by the time they get down here, and then we'll see a clearing trend come in overnight. You'll see that here in our futurecast, and it's going to turn colder. We go from the 50s to the 20s. Mid-20s in the city, out the door. Teens in the colder spots north and west. Tomorrow, sunny, a bit breezy at times, but a more seasonally colder day. Will be mostly in the mid and upper 30s across the entire tri-state area. Tomorrow night, clouds come in. Friday, we'll start with rain. Might be a little pockets of freezing rain in the beginning, but temperatures will be warming back into the mid-40s, so we'll have periods of rain, which we could probably use, Kendall, sort of clean out the salt that's on all the streets and sidewalks.
Yeah, we can show you as well. Thanks, Nick. Well, another one of the President Trump's controversial cabinet nominees is in the hot seat on Capitol Hill today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's being considered to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, is trying to ease lawmakers' concerns by insisting he is not anti-vaccine. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more on this confirmation hearing.
Do you have the support?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. helped President Trump get elected by promising to make America healthy again. But to make good on that promise, he has to first convince a skeptical Senate.
We don't agree on everything, but what we both agree is that America has some health problems.
RFK Jr. is one of the top spreaders of misinformation about vaccines.
Kennedy has advocated against some vaccines, such as the COVID shot for children. And he's repeatedly linked some vaccines to autism, a claim debunked by many scientists. But at his first of two confirmation hearings, Kennedy claims he is not anti-vax.
Vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated. In my advocacy, I've often disturbed the status quo by asking uncomfortable questions. Well, I'm not going to apologize for that.
As Health and Human Services Secretary, Kennedy wants to fight chronic diseases, review chemicals used in U.S. foods, and take financial interests out of health care.
I think he brings a fresh look at HHS, and I think he'll do a great job.
But Kennedy could face opposition from some Republicans due to his pro-choice views on abortions.
We need to respect each other when we have different opinions and not force our opinions on other people.
If confirmed, RFK Jr. would control more than a dozen powerful agencies, including the CDC, FDA, NIH, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, developing news, Donald Trump appeals his New York hush money conviction. The appeal seeks to erase a verdict that made him the first president with a criminal record. Trump's lawyers filed a notice of appeal today asking the state's mid-level appeals court to overturn his conviction. He was convicted in May on 34 counts of falsifying business records. The case involved an alleged scheme to hide hush money payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels during his 2016 presidential campaign. Also developing in more legal news, the Justice Department abandons criminal proceedings against two of Donald Trump's co-defendants in the president's classified records case. The defendants are a Trump valet and a Mar-a-Lago property manager. They were both charged with conspiring with the president to obstruct an FBI investigation by hoarding classified documents. Now, Trump took those documents with him when he left the White House after his first term. And former New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez will be sentenced in the Manhattan courtroom shortly. In July, the Democrat he was found guilty on federal charges of extortion, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and acting as a foreign agent by accepting bribes to benefit the government of Egypt. Prosecutors have asked Judge Sidney Stein to sentence the former New Jersey senator to at least 15 years in prison. And more breaking news. President Trump's budget office now rescinding the memo that freezes spending on federal grants. This comes 2 days after it was announced, sparking widespread confusion and legal challenges across the country. The original memo called for a freeze so officials could see if spending on programs was in line with the president's agenda, and this sparked concerns for crucial agendas and departments, agencies and departments would not get the funding needed. Now, however, despite this reversal, the Trump administration says the underlying executive orders targeting federal spending in areas like diversity, equity, and climate change, they remain in place. Well, today, the City Council announced the launch of the city's first ever community interpreter bank. Now, the NYC Community Interpreter Bank, it centralizes interpretation services available to immigrants across the 5 boroughs, and it will recruit, train, and dispatch interpreters to city-funded legal services providers. Now, in fiscal year 2025, the city allocated $1.4 million to initiate the Community Interpreter Bank. Well, suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann back in court today. Today's hearing on Long Island was in part of DNA evidence. The lawyers from Heuermann say the type of DNA in this case have never been used in a New York State court case before, and they say it's not accurate. Also, there are 7 victims in this case, and Heuermann's lawyers want there to be 7 separate trials.
The danger of having count after count, victim after victim in the same trial is that smoke, there's fire mentality. They shouldn't be tried together.
It's not new technology. It's used in all of our everyday lives. It's used in medical, forensic, paleontology, identifying war dead, identifying 9/11 remains, all of these things. So we're just applying this. I submit we're applying this very effective and tried and true technology to the courtrooms.
Now, Heuermann has pled not guilty to all the charges. In developing news out of Gaza, we're learning more about the hostages set to be released tomorrow. Images of these hostages have been just released. 3 of them are Israeli and 5 others are Thai nationals being held by Hamas. Now, Israeli officials say 2 of the hostages are women, 29 and 18 years old, along with an 80-year-old man. So far, 7 hostages have been released, a part of the first phase of the ceasefire deal. Well, here in the city, police released new images of those accused of stealing a subway train and taking it on a joyride. The NYPD says 6 people got into an empty R train and was accused of sitting in the storage yard by the Forest Hills 71st Avenue station Saturday night. At one point, the video shows them going through a station on the express tracks traveling 30 miles an hour. Police say they have also vandalized the train before taking off. It was all recorded and posted on social media. Now, police are still looking for those suspects they say were all wearing masks. And stories like that may cause people some frustration, and there are different ways to release it, from taking a walk outside to even baking. But for those that want to kick it up a notch, there's another way to let the angry feelings flow in a safe and controlled environment. Fox 5's Jody Goldberg takes us to Smash It, that therapy on Long Island.
It may not feel as good as winning the U.S. Open, but Smash It Therapy is serving up the sweet sound of rage. 1 glass, electronic, or just about anything else you want to smash at a time.
Most people think they're going to let out frustration, but the minute you start breaking stuff, you start laughing. It's silly.
Relationship gone bad, or a rough day at work.
I tell everyone when they go in the room, scream bloody murder for all I care.
I'm getting ready. Suit up and get your safety gear. And also get a crate with some 24
Grandma's china?
miscellaneous items.
Cinnamon, anyone?
Don't forget your DVDs.
The Hangover?
CDs.
Sorry, Josh Groban.
And yes, VHS tapes.
The Titanic. It was too long, the ending. It's time for it to end.
You get lost in that table and you forget things existed. There's stuff in there that you might remember from middle school. And you might have hated somebody over it, you might have loved somebody over it.
All right, let's do it.
Walk inside one of the therapy rooms.
We have an order theme in this one. The other one's kind of an office, and we have a safe, and then we have kind of like a gaming room.
Grab a tool.
Hockey sticks, golf clubs, I mean, you name it.
Choose a target and let everything you've bottled up inside out.
It's like venting, but physically, and it's accomplishing the same thing.
And if you're looking to be even more daring or destructive, what about a printer, a stereo, or a flat screen TV? Leave it all behind.
And we get to clean it.
Or in this case, on the floor. In Westbury, Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
Well, happy Lunar New Year to those celebrating today. The 27th annual fireworks show and cultural festival took place at Sarah Delano Roosevelt Park. Now, that's between Christeth and Forsyth Streets. And this Lunar New Year it brings the Year of the Snake. Next month, a parade will be marching through the streets of Chinatown to honor the Lunar Year and the Year of the Snake. And if the weather's anything like it is now, they're going to need some jackets. Let's take a live look outside. It looks pretty, but that wind is causing some trouble. Let's bring in meteorologist Nick Gregory for a look at the forecast. Hey, Nick.
Hi, Kendall. And yes, we saw some of those clouds on that video shot, too. We got another cool front coming by, and that may bring a couple of rain or snow showers to the area as we go through the afternoon. Again, as you look at the loop here, you can see a line of snow showers, snow squalls, actually, trying to make it in from the north and west. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I noticed the airflow coming down from the north and west, so that's a symbol of colder air that's going to be on the move. Why? Because we've been in the low 50s this afternoon. What a nice break from the cold air of recent days. But again, we'll be transitioning to colder weather tonight. Here's Futurecast. Again, some snow showers and rain showers early, and then the sky will go clear tomorrow. Not as windy, just a little bit breezy at times, but much colder. Mid and upper 30s is the best we'll do. Clouds back tomorrow night, and Friday morning, early on, we'll start to see rain overspread the area. Look at the little pink in here. That's the potential in some of the northern suburbs when it starts. There's a little bit of freezing rain to be around, so just kind of keep that in mind. But it's quickly going to go over to rain as the temperature warms up back into the 40s as the day goes along. And most of the upcoming weekend, it looks like it should be in pretty decent shape. But much colder tonight, right? From the low 50s now down to 25 in the city. Sky clears out. The wind stays a bit gusty, and the temperature drops even into the mid-teens in this colder suburbs. Tomorrow, sunny day. A touch breezy at times. Again, 37 is going to be the high for tomorrow. Low to middle 30s as you get some of the suburbs north and west. All right, rain comes in Friday, 44. Saturday, about 38. Get a good amount of sunshine. Looks like a fair amount of clouds come in Sunday, and we'll see temperatures again in the 30s. By the way, that Sunday is the Groundhog Day symbol, so we'll see if the groundhog sees a shadow. Probably will. So that means, if you believe that stuff, 6 more weeks of winter. We shall see what the science really says. Monday, about 50, a fair amount of clouds. Then we transition a little bit colder. Windy Tuesday, 41, and about 38 as we head on into Wednesday. So kind of a little up and down in temperatures, Kendall, but still no real big storms to worry about.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nick. Well, that's your news block for now. I'm Kendall Green. Thanks for joining us. Tune into the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on Fox Local for all the day's news as it develops. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.